Donald Trump is about to reset the Federal Reserve. This is the biggest change that is going to happen to the Federal Reserve in its 112 years history. Either it's going to break the US economy or it's going to break the Federal Reserve itself. Donald Trump just picked Kevin Warsh as the new chair of the Federal Reserve. On one side, it is impossible to imagine that Donald Trump just picked a person that is not a yes man, because Donald Trump wants to see lower interest rates. That's why he has been attacking Jay Paul for the last year. On the other side, if you look at the track record of Kevin Warsh, that's not exactly what Donald Trump likes. His track record is going to cost the US government hundreds of billions of dollars. And I don't think Donald Trump is ready to see how he's going to spend almost $1 trillion more money just to pay the interest on the US debt instead of continuing his agenda. That's why gold prices are falling down, silver prices are going down. It seems like it is going to be a completely new era for the US dollar. So here is what you need to know. There are essentially two main ways the Federal Reserve controls the economy. Historically, the Federal Reserve has controlled the entire economy by raising or lowering interest rates. And at times, the Fed was very harsh. For example, back in the 1980s, interest rates have been as high as 18 or 20%. Hiking rates really work to either bring down inflation or boost the US economy, because that's what makes access to capital either very cheap or very expensive. And if you look at any business today, especially when we talk about large, huge businesses, all of them rely on debt. So if you can actually borrow money at a cheaper price, suddenly you see the economy being flooded with hundreds of billions of dollars that is going to boost the demand and is going to shoot that economic cycle to cycle faster and grow faster, and vice versa. Which is why Donald Trump is so mad at Jay Paul that why can't you, for God's sake, just lower down interest rates so that I'm gonna see my economy growing tremendously? But on the other side, that much demand is easily going to cause high inflation. But there is a second way to control the supply of money, and this is far more important, especially since 2008. In 2008, the entire Federal Reserve completely changed. After the 2008 financial crisis, the Fed fundamentally changed the system, and now the Federal Reserve is just subsidizing the US government. Part of the reason that the US government has trillions of dollars in debt is because there is someone else that is literally just printing money and giving it away to the US government. So if the US government wants to raise a few $1 trillion, the Fed can always print trillions of dollars, buys the IOU that the US government is issuing, and that's how the government is raising so much money. And it's very clear at the balance sheet of the Fed. In 2008, the first quantitative easing happened, and since then, you can see that, yes, at times the Fed tried to shrink the balance sheet, but overall it has grown since then from less than $1 trillion to as much as $6.5 trillion. And here is where Kevin Warsh's perspective comes in. He made it clear that the Federal Reserve needs a regime change.
I think that inflation's going to still be well above 2%, because that's what the Fed's delivered. I think until there's regime change at the Fed, until there's new people running the Fed, a new operating framework, they're stuck with their old mistakes.
And the fact that the Fed is intervening in the US government and subsidizing the US government by buying massively US debt is something unprecedented, and is the only reason, or the fundamental reason, that is causing so much inflation in the economy. So if we suddenly reset the Federal Reserve and bring it to pre-2008 level, where the Federal Reserve is no longer going to buy so much US treasuries, you're not going to see any kind of inflation. And that's the difference between Kevin Warsh and Jay Paul, because Jay Paul has always been pro-quantitative easing. He was picked back in 2017, just when he started quantitative tightening. 2020 happens, and he prints more money and buys more US treasuries than anyone else in the history of the Federal Reserve within a very short span of time. And according to Kevin Warsh, that's one of the main reasons why the United States has massive inflation in 2021, 2022, and we can see the effects of this high inflation even until today. And that's why the Fed needs a regime change.
I resigned.
You did?
When QE2 was launched.
In 2010.
I left in early 2011. My colleagues, including Chairman Bernanke, who I mentioned, for whom I had great respect as a war fighter, he and my colleagues at the Fed decided that we should keep on doing it.
You can even say that the 2008 financial crisis made interest rates completely irrelevant. Why lower interest rates when the Fed can subsidize the entire government's debt? So the US government issues a piece of paper called a US bond or a US Treasury. It's called a US Treasury because it's issued by the Department of Treasury. And then the Federal Reserve simply buys that bond. Whenever that bond expires, the Federal Reserve is going to refinance it. So the US government pays back the debt to the Federal Reserve, the Fed will check that money, buys back the exact same bond, giving that money back to the US government. So it turns into this never-ending cycle of the Federal Reserve giving money to the US government, increasing massively the supply of dollars in the economy, which is causing that much inflation. If you abolish this system and go to the pre-2008 status, then suddenly the supply of dollars in the economy is going to shrink, which is going to make the US dollar substantially more stronger. That's why investors instantly panic. They're like, are we really going back to the pre-2008 level? Is Kevin Warsh really going to shrink the balance sheet to less than $1 trillion within the next 5 to 10 years? In fact, in one of the conferences last year, he mentioned that if we are going to offer investors a framework to how we are going to shrink the balance sheet of the Fed, we're going to win the confidence of investors, which is why you see that silver prices instantly crushed from $118 to as low as $84. Gold prices went down as well to less than $5,000. We know how much gold is there in the world, and we know how much US dollars there in the world. We can't control much the supply of gold on one side, but we can certainly control the supply of dollars on the other side. And the fact that gold prices have been rising so fast is because we've been dumping so much US dollars into the economy. Now, if we're going to start the process of quantitative tightening, of pulling that money out of the economy and telling the world that you got to trust the US dollar because US dollars are not going to be thrown just like they have been since 2008. This is a completely new system. But here's the problem with Kevin Warsh. Donald Trump has said that Kevin Warsh wants to lower interest rates. That's exactly what he said. He said that I did not discuss it with Kevin Warsh, but I've heard multiple times that he wants to lower interest rates.
I've been following him, and I don't want to ask him that question. I think it's inappropriate, probably would be allowed, but I want to keep it nice and pure. But he certainly wants to cut rates. I've been watching him for a long time.
And it's very difficult right now to be confident what exactly Kevin Warsh is going to do. He joined the Federal Reserve back in 2008, and he was through the toughest periods in the history of the United States when the United States was trying to bail out the largest banks in the country. Then in 2016, he becomes the economic advisor to Donald Trump. So Donald Trump personally knows him very clearly, and maybe they have a very similar perspective about the US economy. And then in 2017, when Donald Trump was picking his pick for the new chair of the Fed, he was one of the people that he was actually considering. So maybe instead of Jay Paul, we might have had Kevin Warsh. And if Kevin Warsh was picked instead of Jay Paul back in 2017, maybe in 2020, we would not have so much quantitative easing that the Federal Reserve has done in 2020. Increasing the balance sheet to almost $10 trillion from about $4 trillion. But nonetheless, now he's finally the new chair of the Fed in 2016. So will Kevin Warsh actually lower interest rates and shrink the balance sheet? Or instead, he's actually going to do what Trump is saying. Lower interest rates, but close your eyes on the balance sheet and keep it the way it is. Shrinking the Fed's balance sheet right now might not actually be the best decision because the US economy is not in that position where it can actually afford that. Unemployment has risen to 4.4%. And if you look at the number of jobs the US economy is adding every single month, you can see that that number substantially has gone down. In fact, the US economy is even losing jobs in some months. And if this trend is going to continue, we know that maybe by the end of this year, we are going to have an official recession. And every single time we had a recession since 2008, we had the Fed intervene and buy US treasuries through massive quantitative easing. So I'm not even sure what exactly Kevin Warsh is going to do in this situation. And inflation hasn't cooled down to 2%. It is anything between 2.7 to 3%. and likelihood of that to continue throughout the entire 2026 is insanely high, when interest rates are between 3.5 to 3.7%. And shrinking the balance sheet during such economic situation is going to guarantee the US economy at least a short recession. Since the US government is consistently refinancing the debt, when the Federal Reserve is doing quantitative tightening and shrinking the balance sheet, the Federal Reserve is no longer buying the bonds that are expiring that have been issued previously by the US government. So the US government at this point has to find new buyers for its bonds. When you can't find enough buyers on the other side, what is going to happen to the yields? The yields are going to rise, which is going to make it a lot more expensive for the US government to borrow money. And since we are having so much uncertainty in the world and investors are skeptical about the US debt, especially with everything that has been happening over the last year, replacing the Federal Reserve to buy so much US treasuries is going to be a lot more difficult than it seems. We also have to consider that it was Donald Trump that appointed Jay Powell back in 2017. And since then, he has been attacking him because he has not been following what Donald Trump has been saying. So on one side, he might appoint Kevin Worth, and then he's going to attack him for reducing the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve. On the other side, he might actually be the yes man that will do both. He will lower down interest rates and keep the balance sheet the way it is. Or maybe even continue the quantitative easing that Jay Powell has started back in December. If you're investing in gold and silver, then you have to pay attention to what Kevin Worth exactly intends to do. If he will continue with reducing the balance sheet, then yeah, it's much better to sell your gold because gold prices are going to continue shrinking. But if all of that are just words to get him picked to become the next chair of the Fed, and he will continue what Jay Powell is doing, on top of that he will lower down interest rates, then yes, you have to hold your gold. And if you haven't started investing yet and you need a step-by-step guide on how to start investing and make your first $1 million in the stock market, then check out the first link in the description and join the Investing Academy.